All right, Nathan back here with 9 After 5 Golf. So, for this third component of my challenge, my 14-day challenge to try to get a little bit better at golf, I am really looking at my ball striking. For this particular thing, I think the most important thing with ball striking is probably your swing mechanics. I was a couple weeks ago really kind of looking into this, hitting a lot of balls, trying to figure out why I couldn't strike the ball more consistently. And something that I kind of figured out is I needed someone else to look at it. So I found an app, Skillist, and I found a coach on there that asked me to send me a video of my golf swing. So I went ahead and did that. This is the actual video that I sent him. I'm not going to play his recording of what he sent back to me of his breakdown, but I'll because I just don't know if he wants me to post that. But I will kind of go over everything that he went over with me, just so that you can see kind of what my swing flaws are and what I'm working on over the next 2 weeks to make my ball striking better. So here's just my swing, just playing through. This is the video that I sent him. So that was it. Now, a couple things. The first thing that he really pointed out to me was my weight distribution. So if you look at my initial setup here, my weight is very, very far forward, like on the balls of on the toes of my feet. So I need to be more upright in my posture and kind of shift all of my weight back there. So that's the first kind of initial thing that I'm going to work on. So basically my starting position needs to be, like back here. I need to shift my upper body backwards just a little bit there. So that was the first thing. Second thing is the takeaway. And if you know anything about swinging a golf club, which I thought I did, but I guess I've never noticed how bad my takeaway was here. When you take away a golf club, it should be around your hands, like the head of the golf club should be around your hands, or maybe even a little bit but in front of the hands when the shaft is parallel. And if you look at mine, it's way, way back here. It's probably 1.5 feet behind me at my takeaway. So it's really impeding my ability to get in a good position at the top of the swing. So something I got to work on is making sure when I take the club back, I'm taking it much more back in front of my body, keeping everything in front of me. Okay, and once we get to the top of the swing, two things up here that he wanted me to look at is the first one is how far out or detached that my elbow is right here. A good golf swing, I think your elbow is supposed to be pretty tight in here to your side. And in a minute, whenever you kind of watch it again through, the only way that I can kind of fix this in my swing is taking a big, huge rotation with my shoulder going forward. And this particular thing right here, getting that elbow kind of tucked in and a lot tighter to my body is one of the reasons that fitness is going to be a part of this kind of challenge, is because that is a really hard position for me to get in just because I don't have a lot of external rotation in my shoulder right there. So that's probably one of the reasons that I'm in this position, but something that I'm also going to try to fix kind of within all of this. Now, and lastly, something here at the top of my swing, my club is way across the line here. It's kind of, you can almost see it on the other side of my body once it gets over here. That is not a good position for a club. So that should be, at least parallel to like my target line going this way, and maybe even a little bit more vertical. I don't think it has to be completely vertical, but at least needs to be pointing this direction. So this is just a couple things in the takeaway alone that are really keeping me from getting into a good kind of position when I get into things. So, and if you look, you should always, I think a good golf swing, typically you're trying to swing, from the inside out. And if you look at my takeaway here, my hands are going back really far. I do this weird over shoulder rotation thing, and my hands are way in front of where they were, where I took them back from. And then I have to flip my hips at the very end and flip my hands in order to even make contact with the ball. And, sometimes 60% of the time or so I can do that. And I can make it line up. Your body just kind of knows what it's doing. But I think there's also another video that I took of me in front, like a front view, and whereas you're supposed to have some, forward shaft lean and things, I do not have that. My shaft is almost vertical when I make contact with the ball, just because I have to flip my hands through to make up for all of these inconsistencies and problems that I have in the backswing. So over the next 2 weeks, I'm really going to start working on this, and dialing it in, just to try to make it to where to put myself in a better position to make a better golf swing. It's not going to fix everything, and having a perfect swing, anything is not the end-all be-all of being a golfer, but putting yourself in that position definitely will help you make more consistent strikes of the ball. Hey, Nathan here. So for the measurable component of my third section that I'm looking to improve, which is ball striking, I have already kind of been looking at some of the videos about my swing and kind of messing with some of that stuff just on my own. So I didn't want to record anything new there, because I didn't want the results to kind of skew if I'm already changed something in my swing that I know is wrong. So luckily, a couple weeks ago, I used my pitching wedge on my Rapsudo app here, and all the data is still saved. So this is about 2-week-old data. But it's all swings done with my old golf swing. So for me, a pitching wedge, a good pitching wedge strike is 135 yards. So I think anything plus or minus 10 yards in that would probably be considered a pretty good swing for me. So in this particular thing, I hit 12 shots, and of the 12, I would, it looks like 7 of them were within that 10-yard range. So 7 of them I would be considered good strikes. And if you look at the club speed here on the right, they're all pretty consistent all the way down through here. So the only thing that would make these balls not travel as far would be a bad strike on the ball. So anything from the 123.7 yard down, I would consider a bad strike on the ball. So 5 out of 7 bad, or 5 out of 12 bad would be about 40%. So here I hit 60% of my shots well, and about 40% of them not well. So going into this challenge in 14 days, when I try this again and I've worked on my swing mechanics and things like that, what I'm really looking for here is that I can improve on that 60% mark, make it go higher, and obviously make the misses, the 40%, go lower. So I think this is a good baseline, and I was lucky that I had this data saved from a couple weeks ago to use.